Unlock the secrets of franchising success with the Franchise Life podcast. Hosted by Stacie Shannon. Join us for expert insights, success stories, and practical tips every week. Subscribe now and take your franchise journey to the next level.
Hello and welcome to the Franchise Life. Today we are bringing a little Aussie your way with a franchise brand called The Training Mate. And today I have Luke Milton, who is the founder and CEO of Training Mate. Welcome, Luke.
Well, thanks, Stace. Thanks for having me on, mate. I'm really excited to get talking. So I'll try and ease the accent down and slow down so everyone can understand it. But it's a real joy to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, bring the accent on full bore. I absolutely adore it. It's such a pleasant change. So, and for those who are watching this, we can see what a Training Mate studio looks like behind you. So we will dive into that in just a moment. But give us the backdrop, Luke, of how you founded this company and its transition from Australia to the US.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Stace. Yeah, look, unlike other people, I used to have a different career. So I used to have a career in professional sport. So I was lucky enough to play professional rugby for the country of Australia. Hugely proud that I got to do that. I wanted to do that since I was like 10 years old, and I finally got to achieve it. So as we fast forward quite a few years, I got into it and then won the equivalent of the Super Bowl when we were like 18, 19 years of age. And I really fell in love with just everything that was going on in life. And then as we kept going throughout my career, 26 years of age, I retired. And when I reflected, I was like, what did I love about it? And I loved the camaraderie. I loved the team. I loved having 25 guys ready for me no matter what. Good times, bad times, everyday times, right? So that's what I started to really reflect on. Then I was questioning whether I even loved the sport of rugby as much as I love the camaraderie. So fast forward into chapter 2 of life, or multiple chapters, but next chapter of my career, I wanted to stay involved in building teams. So I just saw the fitness industry as a natural progression to go somewhere after a sporting career, a professional athlete career. So I started Training Mate on the foreshores of Sydney Harbour. It started as like a corporate wellness program. So basically had a couple of old sponsors, JP Morgan, Credit Suisse, Saatchi and Saatchi, and I put together little corporate teams for them. And we still, as we do now, split up into 3 different sections and really started, getting a good workout. So anyway, after doing that for about a year, my wife is actually American. She was living in Australia with me at the time. And I went back and I was like, I really want to go a little further with this business, right? At the time, it was called Milton Health Management. So don't shoot me for the lack of creativity there, but it was called Milton Health Management. And I was really proud of it. And so Kerry, my wife, was in advertising, so much smarter than I am. Brilliant marketer, brilliant branding. Worked for Saatchi and Saatchi, worked on, accounts like Valentino, Jimmy Choo. She did the New York thing, and she's she's a genius at marketing. So I come home, I'm like, I really want to take this to the next level. And she goes, well, what makes you different? I'm like, I don't know. Like I do every workout with the guys. Like I'll get in there and I'll box with them, or I'll go for a run across the Harbour Bridge and come back and do all the things. So she said, so you're more of a mate. I'm like, exactly. Like I'm a mate. So she goes, you're their training mate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm their training mate. She goes, that's the name, Training Mate. And I'm like, absolutely not. Worst name I've ever heard in my life. And anyway, fast forward 15 years and we've got a global business that's really disrupted the fitness industry, and it's called Training Mate. So with that, and there's a bunch in between, but I'll spare all the listeners the ear bleeding from my life story. Kerry wanted to move back to America. So we moved to Los Angeles, from Sydney to Los Angeles. I'm like, okay, cool. I've got this. Kerry being Kerry gets a job straight away. She's out. She's in the corporate world. And I, all of a sudden, am faced with not having a network of people for the first time in my life because I didn't have my team anymore. So I land in West Hollywood. She gets a job. I'm like, okay, cool. My only goal is to find some mates, find some friends, find people that I can hang out with, because as you know, major cities can be really lonely. So I walk into this group fitness gym and I'm like, I got this. hey guys, my name's Luke. How are you? It's my first class. The girl on the front desk just doesn't even look up at me. She's just typing on the computer. She goes, yeah, you're in the back room. I'm like, ooh, okay, I got this. So I walk into the back room. There's these two guys with their shirts off jumping rope. I'm like, all right, I can talk douchebag. I got these guys. Like, they're my mates. That's who's going to get it. So I'm like, hey boys, how are you? It's Luke. I really drummed up the Australian accent. I just wanted to meet people. I was desperate. And I'm like, hey, and they just turn their back on me and like, yeah, cool, dude. And just turn their back on me and start jumping rope. I'm like, oh my gosh. I literally felt like I had leprosy. I felt like I was so ostracized. It was doing the opposite of what I wanted to go there. I wanted to go there and meet people to cure my loneliness, right? And it backfired terribly. I end up leaving there more lonely than ever. The class was fine. The instructor was fine. I didn't meet anyone. I didn't bond. I went back home and I said to Kerry, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I think I'm going to go home. Like I've got, my network there, my people there. Anyway, after a good talk and maybe a couple of drinks, we decided that instead of doing that, let's double down on, let's put Training Mate into a brick and mortar based just off community. So we opened the studio in West Hollywood. Ironically, we took half of this gym's member base because we base it off community and human connection. And then that was in 2013. Fast forward 12, 13 years later, we've disrupted the entire group fitness studio. We've been named on so many different media outlets as the #1 celebrity approach to fitness in the United States of America. We've got some of the highest, AUV studios in the country, and it's just really taken off. But we've built it all off the back of community. And instead of trying to solve a problem of obesity and weight, we solved the loneliness problem, because I believe that that's what the true epidemic of this country and probably the world is right now. We solved that loneliness epidemic by creating community, creating a trusted network of people, and really making sure that people felt a part of something. And that's what Training Mate is in as quick of a time as I can give it.
Wow, that's a lot of information. And community is so powerful in general, but that is one of the beautiful things about fitness, though, is if you can find a place that you can call your home, in essence, you can create a very powerful movement within boutique fitness, right? So it
Absolutely.
sounds like you're absolutely doing that. So let me ask you, so Training Mate, I've watched the videos, I've seen the website, I have heard you talk before. There's a big emphasis on mate, right? That
Yep.
originates from your Aussie background. So how is that translating to us US citizens, and uh, how is the adoption of that going?
Yeah, really well. Thanks for asking, Stace. It's a mate to me is effectively a friend 2.0, right? As we said, a mate is there for the good times, the bad times, and the everyday times. So the adoption from the American community has been phenomenal. I don't know if we've opened a corporate studio in an area where it hasn't been listed as the #1 studio within that greater city within the first 12 to 18 months. So the American adoption of mateship has been phenomenal. Community is everywhere, and I think that Australians are really good at giving permission to go and do it. So what we want to do is you don't always have to have an accent to be a mate. It's more of a lifestyle. So as we transition from corporate owned units into a franchise model, the biggest joy ever is actually teaching our franchisees how to live that Australian lifestyle and how to create these communities, and what everyone wants, how to create really, really, really attractive business models and scale that to provide a really nice life for themselves. That's what I've been really proud of. And I think that's what a mate is. A mate is actually looking out for other people. If you've found something, if you've found that little golden nugget, how do we share that with other people? How do we get other people to actually enjoy some of the fruits of the labor that we had from the founding principle? This business has been amazing, and it's really given my wife and I a whole another life that we're very, very grateful for. And now it's our real mission to actually spread that and share that with our franchisees and teach them how to create these really cool, profitable, nice business models that create a really good lifestyle, where you can really go out and help people create healthy lifestyles.
Awesome. All right, so your journey, Luke, started in 2013. You started franchising Training Mate in 2023. You have four corporate-owned studios, I believe. What does the franchise landscape look like as we sit here today?
Yeah, so we've got 12 studios open currently. We've got another 8 to 10 in the pipeline to open, and we're dealing with a lot of people now, a lot of interest that's reaching out to the company. So we think that we'll expand that out to probably around 30 to 50 locations by the end of 2026, and then continue to grow from there. Hopefully, double the footprint each year. Look, we've been really upfront about this from the start. We want to make sure that we are partnering with people instead of that traditional franchise or franchisee relationship. I don't particularly like that. I think a lot of people, especially in group fitness, it's been very one-sided. Kerry, my wife, and I decided from the very start that we don't want to just disrupt the fitness industry, which we've done really successfully. We actually want to disrupt the franchise industry. We want to make sure that when you go in there and when you partner with Training Mate, it's a true partnership. Now, how we get there is by having a really strong vetting process at the start, being really upfront with what our brand is, and being really in the weeds with people, helping them with real estate selection, helping them build their team. We, on our side, on the corporate side of things, have developed a HIT squad, HIIT, obviously, squad, where we go out there and we really make sure that the emphasis is on culture, how to build these teams out, training people on how to build the teams, how to build the culture, and then really how to have a really exciting studio that delivers healthy lifestyles to the communities and leaves these cities, suburbs better for having a Training Mate than not. So that's what franchising looks to us. Strong vetting of our partners, and then honestly, being there with them the whole time, helping wherever we can help, celebrating wherever we can celebrate. We've effectively expanded what we do for 36 people in a class outside to what we now do for franchisees. And that's true mateship. And I think that that's what being a responsible franchisor is all about.
I love hearing that from you because I truly, I mean, part of doing this podcast is to get closer to the franchise brands, to better understand them, right? I do
Yeah.
research day in and day out on the side, but it to me it is all about responsible franchising and when I'm working with a client, I absolutely want to match them with brands that are responsible about franchising and that means many things to many people, but your systematic growth and making sure you're partnering with people that are like-minded is great to hear for
Yeah.
me. Okay, so you've really honed in on community and mateship, which I think are very powerful. They're the guiding principles, that really lead the vision for Training Mate. But how, for an investor, does that translate into KPIs,
Yeah.
lifetime value of a member, and so forth? So can we dive into that a little bit more from an analytical standpoint?
Yeah, 100%. Like a lot of our KPIs are things that we're most proud of. When you build true community, all of those statistics go through the roof. We have over double the industry average in group fitness of our AUVs per studios. We have like 3 times the lifetime value of the average in group fitness. Community works. And we've seen all of these statistics. When you provide a team, when you provide a community, when you actually execute that, all of those numbers go through the roof. You hold on to people. Retention is everything. And we genuinely believe that people will leave transactions. They won't leave relationships. So how do we build relationships? How do we build communities and not just have it as a buzzword that every other brand, to be quite honest, is going to tell you about community and culture, right? Everyone says it. But how do you execute it? Because we know that in business, you're successful in business days. We know that execution is the only thing that matters, right? So we execute community by doing all of these community building workouts, community building events. We'll do a no shower happy hour where one Friday a month, right? We put on this class. You can only have 36 people in a Training Mate class, but then we do like a social hour after it where you stay back. You want to drink, drink. You don't want to drink, don't drink. But there's games, there's culture building building activities. There's just chatting, there's community building. Australians are great at that. Training Mate is probably the best at that I've seen. We can only fit 36 people. We've had up to 120 to 150 people show up just to get that human connection at that event. Then once a quarter, on the calendar, on the social calendar that we distribute to everyone out there, we make sure that we get an off-site mate meetup where everyone comes together from multiple studios or from a single studio, whatever it is, and we meet off-site and we give people the ability and the environment that's conducive to meeting people. We've had people get married. We've had people work for and with each other. We've had people just start social groups, walk groups, shopping groups, all of this sort of stuff, all off the back of what we do that's a tangible ROI on how to build culture and how to build community. Now, the workout itself, you can't be alone in a Training Mate workout. I still control all of the programming. I absolutely love it. It's my absolute joy. And it's designed, the way Training Mate workout is designed is that you're always with a mate. There's 9 exercises, up to 4 people on each exercise, 36 people per class. There are more high fives than you've ever seen in your life. And another unique factor with us is there's dual modes of communication, right? So we're not like that traditional up on a podium yelling down at people. We're on the floor with you. We deliberately don't have screens up on the wall. It's very much a trainer-driven experience more so than just a workout. Now, I've been lucky. I've been really grateful and really lucky in life. I've trained some of the biggest celebrities in the world, and I do it off the premise of this physiological base that I do in all of the Training Mate programs. Physiologically, the programs are awesome. You get such good results. I don't think that's enough anymore. I don't think that that's worth the price that boutique fitness charges. Where's my experience? Where's my community? What else do I get out of just the physical results, right? Because at Training Mate, we want physical health, social health, and mental health. And we design these programs, we design our studios around that, which then reflects back into what you were saying of ridiculously high lifetime values, ridiculously high AUVs, ridiculously high enjoyment, buy-in, and that real relationship building that Training Mate's so known for.
What is your average membership cost? So I realize
Yep.
you have a footprint in LA, in Dallas, and that membership cost or price may
Yeah.
change based on demographics throughout the United States. But what does the average look like?
Yeah, we're $259 for an unlimited membership. We're $159 for an 8-time per month membership. And then we've got hybrid model, obviously, where you can do a class. Single class starts at $32 and it gradually comes down as you buy a 5-pack, a 10-pack, and a 20-pack. I'm so proud that we were one of the first early adopters of the hybrid model. When we first moved to West Hollywood, it was basically just class packs, right? It was just classes because that's where people made more money. I was like, absolutely not. Community is everything. From the day one of Training Mate, we are the pioneers of the social wellness movement. And I wanted that membership and I wanted to make sure people felt bought in. We've got members that have been around for 8 years, 10 years, done 2, 3, 4,000 classes with us. Our back end KPIs will blow your mind. It is such a buy-in because we really invest in the relationship and not the transaction. We work on, energy per square foot, not necessarily price per square foot or revenue per square foot. And what that does is that translates into long lifetime value and a lot of spend through people really trusting the brand and really sort of enjoying the community that brand builds.
So looking at the footprint and the layout at the studio right behind you,
Yeah.
it's very clean, it's open,
Yep.
not rooms. I love the layout of it. It's easy
Thank
to
you.
move. You have complete visibility. What is this desired footprint that you are
Yeah.
looking for a studio?
Yeah, ideally 2,500 to 3,000 square feet, as close to a rectangle as you can get it. We have about 1,700 square feet of gym space, and then we've got our reception area, and there's usually a sitting area and bathrooms that make up that 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. Simple, not easy. So this stuff is class A, or class B retail. We want to be street frontage. We want to make sure that we're in a foot traffic area, high population density, and that's what we go for.
And then you said you design actually, or you have designed the workout. So These are then being fed to your locations. If I'm doing a workout in West Hollywood and someone's doing a workout in Dallas, are we doing the same workout on the same day, or
Yeah.
do the studios have autonomy to decide which ones they do when?
Yeah, no, we do. We do the same workout. It's amazing. So it's so cool when you start to see social and you start to see these videos being posted. So we have some proprietary technology that we designed, we invested in, we built out called the Hub. And effectively, what it does is it gives you the week's workout. It gives you messages, video messages from me, what we're focusing on for the week, what our area of expertise is, how we want to build these communities, and what we want to deliver. Now, there's an exercise library of over 450 unique exercises that are video demonstrated. There's verbal cues on how to actually execute on the delivery of that exercise, how to demonstrate it, how to adjust people, what equipment is needed. There is a full library all broken down into this centralized program that we designed and we hold. And it's just been a great way to glue all of the studios together. And I'll let a little cat out of the bag. What I'm thinking about right now is actually bringing everything together into these mate games. So actually creating mate games as we scale these studios to have that sort of, everyday competition. I think there's some great ones around, but I want the everyday athlete competition instead of the pure athletic development competition. I want this. I want these little mate games for everyone. You can come and you can enjoy it. We're all doing the same workout on the same day, and then we'll give away some prizes and we'll create a little bit of a community building event off it. But bring all
Oh,
the studios together.
how fun. I love that idea. All right. So, from an employee standpoint, I mean, really, I've run a fitness studio, I've owned a
Yeah,
fitness studio. They're pretty simple to run, right? There's not a lot of moving parts, but really your instructors are what's key because they are
absolutely.
the ones that are creating and fostering this, in your case, the community, the mateship. So, what does the employee footprint look like for a single studio? And what type of experience are you looking for in your instructors?
Yeah, for sure. So 6 to 8 trainers per studio, 4 to 6 front of house. Yeah, and that's where you go. Then it all depends on the owner. Do you want to be an owner operator? Do you want to be an absent owner? And then you'd have to put a manager in if you're going to be a stand back owner. Now, we have this saying internally that we turn good people into great trainers. We don't necessarily need any experience from the trainer. We've got a really in-depth training program and training mate certification that we put trainers through to make sure that they know everything that you need to know about it. Now, the whole scalability of this model, and I love that you use the word simple. I say it all the time. Simple, not easy. You got to go and recruit good people, but we've got all the systems to scale good people and make them great trainers. So you go and find the people that are community builders. Go and find the people that want to throw a party. Go and throw the people that have got energy, that wake up, that want to go out there and help people, be of service to this industry. We've got all the systems in place to turn them into phenomenal trainers. The scalability really comes into play by our centralized programming. How many times, Stacie, have you walked into a studio and you've been like, oh my gosh, I loved it. You go back the next day, you go, huh, I don't know, because it was so dependent on the trainer. We took that out of it. We took that programming part out of it. What our trainers have to do is they have to show up and they have to deliver a phenomenal, best in industry experience. And that's what we teach everyone how to do. You don't necessarily need all the other information because we do that for you and then we train you in doing that. So hopefully I answered your question there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can completely identify with where, clients can have different experiences at different other locations. For my fitness studio, when I owned mine, it was a spin studio. Our instructors could choose their music based on their personality, what they like to do. And we definitely would see some clients flock into certain instructors' classes, right? Where you've leveled that out, which I
Yeah.
love. All
Yeah.
right, so I just have to acknowledge this. When I look through your marketing materials, everybody is hot, they're sexy, they are strong, they're fit. I mean, they're everything I want to be. So, what does your real demographic look like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who are you drawing to your studios?
Yeah, look, anyone looking for a community, but if you want to break that down, we sort of break down like 80% of the group fitness industry is led by 25 to 40-year-old women who are looking for a community, looking for something to do, looking for some purpose. And that's what we really start to specialize in. We have these three avatars that we sort of call Millennial Millies, Established Eddies, and Brentwood Betties. So effectively, your 25 to 35-year-old influencer type person is going to come in, early adopters. They're going to be your early morning, your late nights. They're going to drive the energy. And then you've got your kind of established Eddies, your 35 to 45-year-old guys that might have sacrificed a little bit of their 20s. Maybe they were athletic before. Now they've sort of like coming back into it and they want community. They want to feel a part of something. And then you got your sort of Brentwood Betties that come in as well, that 35 to 45-year-old that really start to generate that hype. They're your real solid bases during your mid-morning to mid-afternoon classes. And we sort of break it all down. But look, the majority of the people that come in, 25 to 40 years of age, they're really looking for that community and they want to be a part of something cool. I, am obviously biased, but I think Training Mate is honestly the coolest brand in the group fitness industry right now. And I got to give, credit to my wife for that. Kerry is an absolute branding genius. She's just worked on some of the best brands. She knows her stuff inside and out. And we've been so disciplined for almost 15 years now on the validity of this brand and making sure that it stays true to what it is and we deliver exactly what we're promising, and that's healthy lifestyles to everyone.
Gotta love it. Awesome. Okay. So let's dive into financials as a last step here.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody wants to know, right? So
Yeah.
I actually love your investment range. It's for a fitness studio with the type of equipment that we're showing behind you. It's a modest investment. It's 222,000 to 556, and truly, as we know, when it's brick and mortar, the real estate is the big swinger
Yeah.
there, right?
Exactly.
What that real estate looks like, how much tenant improvement is needed. All right, item 19, pretty impressive. So average revenue is 739,000. What can you tell us about if you do pre-sales for your studios that are opening, what that looks like? And then I have heard some numbers about what year one revenue can also look like in your system.
Yeah, exactly, Stacey. And that's another one of the things we really help people with the pre-sales as well. We get in there and make sure they build out that sort of community before we build the community, even like once we get that real estate thing. Thanks for acknowledging that, because I think everyone needs to know that. If you're looking at a brick and mortar franchise business, you've got to understand that a lot of that, why it's such a big range, is because of tenant improvement funds. Do you pay a little bit more, or do you get a bigger, piece of the pie from the landlord that's going to help you build that out? Is it a second generation gym? Are you going from scratch? There's so many different variables that you have to sit that wider sort of berth. We're finding most of our guys are coming in lower to middle of that range, and look, the big thing with us is we want to make sure that with the pre-sale, we're not as strict on it as a lot of these big franchises that say you have to get to 500 members. I think there's too much attrition with it. I think you win people over on such a small amount of money and they're not bought into the community. And I think that's a big mistake. We want to make sure that we scale our pre-sale. So what we do is we allow up to 50 people at that higher discount, that 159 and then we go 179, 199, and we try and get it up to about 259 as quick as possible, because what we see is the more of those full paying members that you get, the better it is for your overall sort of top line. Yeah.
Awesome.
But they can open, to answer your question directly, they can open anywhere from 100 members. I think one of the better pre-sales we've had is closer to 200 members.
That is phenomenal. I mean, for a business owner that understands financials, right? I mean, opening up with generating revenue day one and those memberships, that's huge. All right. So one other, I guess, financial point is in your material and through your validation stage, some of your new studios are generating 500,000 in their first year.
Yeah. Yeah, something we're really proud of. And again, a lot of coaching goes into that, but we definitely are seeing, first year above $500,000. And we try and coach our guys into and having a lot of success with getting people to break even or profitability within 90 days. So that's what we want. That's how we operationally, that's how we want to run it. And that's what we want to guide our people through. And that's why we put together our hit squad. That's why we coach people through on the pre-sales. That's why we really focus in on the quality of the experience, because all of these things off the back end, look, at the end of the day, all of the things, all of the soft systems at Training Mate are phenomenal. They're great. We get a lot of notoriety because of that. But when you look into our item 19s and break it apart, go for it, we really stand up against some of the best. And that's why this business is just so attractive. We've got people from all walks of life, bankers, executives, everyone's going, wait, what? What? This is crazy. I'm in. So, it really makes sense. And anyone who's listening can reach out and can go as deep into that stuff as they want. We're very transparent with our numbers.
So, do you foresee yourself coming to Palm Beach County where I am anytime soon?
Jillian's onto us every day about that, and I would absolutely love it. I actually just went to our cousin's wedding there about a year ago now, and I'm like, wait, who's been keeping this secret from me? We've got to get down to Florida. That is one of our real target areas, and especially down at West Palm Beach there. You are in paradise down there, Stacie. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I tell you, your target market is strong down here and
Yeah.
thriving. So, all right, Luke. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate it. And I need to try this workout. I
Yes.
absolutely love it. I mean, I am in a phase of my life where I absolutely am focusing on strength training. So,
Yeah.
and it just looks so intriguing to me. So hopefully I make it to one of your locations here soon.
Stace, I'm gonna hold you to that, Stace. We're gonna bring you out to Dallas and show you what it's all about.
Fantastic. All right. I'll even do some video and share that with folks so they
Love
can
it.
see my firsthand experience.
Love it.
All right, Luke. Well, thanks again for joining me. For anybody that is interested in learning more about Training Mate, please feel free to reach out to me at Stacie@fusionfranchising.com. Thanks and have a great day.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe for more on the franchise life.